Hi, everyone. Welcome to SPR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak and the Bag Show for Thursday, January 11th. Jimmy the Bag, we are taking it on the chin, or at least I am. I didn't check exactly how you did, but I'm telling you, man, do you have the comments there?
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, I will not be able to read comments in today's show because we do not have a charger. SPR has not been able to put it together to get me a tablet to read the comments. But Jim, can you read the comments? Will you be able to do that in this show?
I will, with pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You would, a lot of people think that this show is really great, and I agree with them. Now, you would think that a great show would be able to provide a tablet for the hosts, but SBR would disagree with that. And SBR is what decides, is what matters. Their opinion is what matters, right, Jim? Right, Jim?
Yeah.
Right, Jim? We went to SBR. We said we think that a great show that needs a tablet should have a tablet. And SBR said, an interesting point, not necessarily. We'll get back to you on that. So we'll see. We'll see if I'll be able to ever have a tablet to read comments or not. Still up in the air, but for today's show, no. Will you be able to read the comments, Jim?
Yeah, JP Fahey says, I'll buy you a charger from my Yukon winnings last night.
Ah, very
Season
nice.
ticket holder.
Yes, we did have yeah, I mean, we could do that. I could say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to beg viewers to have a donation fund to provide a charger, and that might work, right?
That might work.
How much do chargers cost?
About $15.
Hey, Juanma, how much do chargers cost?
Yeah, a shitty one can be $10 even.
Can be $10? Okay.
Yeah.
If SBR declines our request for a charger, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a GoFundMe account to try to raise $15 to buy a charger.
Let's say $20 to buy
$20?
a really good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they say no, we'll set up a GoFundMe account to collect $20, to raise $20 from the viewers to see if we can do that. And if we can, we will buy a charger and we will have a tablet, Jim, and then I'll be able to read comments. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I believe in you.
It's possible SBR might want to cut it at $20. It's possible they might say that we're not allowed to even do that. But we'll see. Where there's a will, there's a way, Jimmy the Bag, right?
Yeah.
Right?
If you build it.
Absolutely. All right. So anyway, we're joking around a little bit because it is a small card. Although I guess the good news is that I did get to look at some of the college basketball games on the overnight. So I might even give a couple picks in today's show. Yeah, we are taking on Jen once again. I'm snake bit in NBA. Did you see what happened yesterday? I was like, man, you know what? I think this over in the Rockets game is a good call. So I gave it the over, and of course the game went way over. Of course, my picks were the first half over and the first quarter over, which both lost, and the full game over goes. I'm just snake bit in NBA, Jimmy the Bag.
Bothered me too. Both my first half overs missed, and both games went full game over.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna try to pick things up here. Yeah. Congrats to JP Fahey for a great call on Yukon, which I tailed and added a winner yesterday. Things were very up and down in college basketball for me as well. It's not the easiest thing in the world to cover all these sports accurately enough to give winning picks, but Jimmy and I certainly do our best, and we will continue to do our best. I guess let's start the show. What do you think, Jim?
Let's get it rolling. Hockey went 0-2. Basketball, I heard I'm now no longer up double-digit units.
That's right.
And then went 4 for 4.
That's right. That's right. All right. So what do we have first on the agenda here? I guess we have NBA or NHL. Let's go to the first segment. What's the first segment, Watma?
Let's go with the NBA.
The NBA. Okay. Let's throw the record up there. We're going to watch this. We're going to look at this record. Look at this shit. I'm down about 14 and a half units or something like that, which is, I could come back, except again, long-term NBA is definitely my worst sport. And, but again, my handicapping has not been that bad this year. I've just been getting snake bit. Every time I have a read on the game, I take the first quarter and that loses and everything else wins, or I take the full game and that one loses and everything else wins. You know what I mean? Just snake bit, Jimmy the Bag. Motherfucking snake bit, Jimmy the Bag. We got any comments tumbling in? I'm not seeing any. I can't read the comments.
It's everybody took it in the bottom mouth last night, man. Except for Mr. Cloud Kicks. He still went 5-2. CRC, we had Memphis together, but fucking other losers. He says Bookie's eating good after last night.
The losing days will happen. That's why I have to money manage appropriately. And again, the frustrating thing is I only had a small losing day on my accounts, and I hate it when I give losing picks in the show and don't have a big losing day at my account. You know what I'm saying? It's
Definitely.
It's pressurized here. We don't have that much time. All right, stop making excuses. Let's look at the NBA card. Let's look at the NBA card today. The first thing that jumps out at me, Jimmy the Bag, is is the Spurs against the Lakers, right? Lakers having all kinds of drama, right? The Spurs chugging along, a machine as always, with a bunch of rest. The Spurs have been kind of 50-50-ish ATS and straight up recently. Is this a good play on the Spurs here, Jim? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, first off, I don't buy into the drama. Nobody
No?
gives a fuck what LeVar Ball has to say.
Well,
Nobody takes it as anything. Who cares? I don't think it bothers.
Didn't he say he
anybody.
didn't want to play for Luke Walton? But that's all great assault, and nobody cares.
I just don't think anybody. Now, I might be wrong, but
Right.
my instinct tells me that just no one could care less what he has to say. Luke Walton
Really?
doesn't care. Nobody cares.
So it's kind of like when I request a charger from SBR, they're like Loshak requested a charger for the tablet, and they're just like, we don't care what Loshak says. He says he doesn't like working here without a charger for the tablet. Who cares? You're saying that's what it's like on the Lakers.
Yeah, you're Loshak Ball, man.
La Peter Ball.
Yeah, man. I don't think there's any drama in LA. I really think he's just a fucking blowhard that nobody could care less about. But with the Spurs, they're dealing with major injuries right now. Kawhi Leonard will miss his third straight game with a partial tear in his left shoulder. Rudy Gay will miss his seventh straight game with right heel bursitis. Danny Green has missed the last 4 games with tightness in his groin. Tony Parker sprained his ankle Monday at Sacramento. The Lakers, on the other hand, are healthy, trying to close out this 5-game homestand with their third straight win. Now they have beaten the Hawks and the Kings, who have 2 of the 5 worst records in the NBA. The Lakers committed 25 turnovers versus the Kings and won. We know that won't work against the Spurs. And against the Kings, Ball went 2 for 10 for just 5 points, but 11 boards, 11 assists, 5 steals, only committed 1 turnover. Kobe Valentine likes the Rapers, excuse me, the Lakers. I don't know where that came
Jimmy
from.
the Bag.
Because he wrote, I like Lakers and Raps. Cavs
okay.
under, so
Hey, Freudian slip
Okay,
there. Okay. Okay,
Kobe
Jimmy the
likes
Bag.
the Lakers. Circe likes the Spurs.
Okay.
Ardio likes the Lakers.
Do you like that? Do you like that tone joke I made there when when people go, "Okay, Jimmy the Bag." All right. What about the under? What about the under? The Lakers' last game went under. The Spurs, of course, can be very low scoring, although they can be also high scoring. Lakers tend to trend over at home, but is this maybe a spot where we look for an under? It's not a huge total, Jimmy the Bag.
It's not a huge total. What is the number?
210.5, 211.
Yeah, I feel really uncomfortable with this game.
Yeah?
Really uncomfortable. The Spurs, with all these guys out of the lineup, I know they'll still play good basketball. Pop was talking about how he has to put players in that are not the right person to have in the matchup just because of these injuries. And I just... I don't like it. I can't trust this young Lakers squad. I never have consistency with what they are going to do, and I'm just laying off this game.
All right. My lean would be to the under. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to look into it a little bit more and might give that one in the 6 o'clock show. I guess I will hold off as of right now, but my lean would be to the under. Now let's talk about the Cleveland-Toronto game, right? That's an interesting one. Cleveland, of course, you know what their ATS record is over the last 9 games, Jimmy the Bag? I don't know if you know specifically, but you want to take a guess? Last 9 games, what their ATS record is.
Oh, jeez. Is it?
Just take a guess.
1-8?
That's right. Jimmy the Bag. Give me the bag. You win a charger for that correct answer. Backup charger you win. All right. Cavs lost 8 out of their last 9 ATS coming off a horrible game. Is there something fundamentally wrong with this team? Or are they going to be able to turn it around here? Because the Raps are obviously struggling without Lowry, right? I may be shitty in NBA, but I nailed that game. I had the first half on Miami, full game Miami, and the under. All 3 of them cashed. And this one, again, I'm thinking maybe Cleveland early and maybe shot with the under here. Is Cleveland, I know obviously Cleveland can explode offensively, but are they going to maybe clamp down on defense here a bit?
You know, they're a tricky team, the Cavs, to figure out. I do expect them to figure it out. They just have too much talent on that bench, and they have... Shumpert and Rose will be getting back at some point in the next week or 2. They're both going to help, especially Shumpert on the defensive end. We knew that Isaiah Thomas coming into the lineup was going to give things a twist that maybe they didn't know where they were going to move. Raptors had their 12-game home winning streak snapped by the Heat. We were both on that. They were a tired group. Second half of back-to-back, got home at 3 in the morning, allowed the Heat to get 20 offensive boards. Intense affair. Serge Ibaka will not be available after being suspended for a game for throwing a punch at James Johnson. Kyle Lowry will miss his second straight game with a back injury. Now, that's not confirmed. That's just I feel DeRozan said yesterday the whole game is different without Kyle out there. He's a general on the floor. So you're absolutely right. The Cavs are coming off an ugly 127-99 defeat at Minnesota on Monday night. It was their largest margin of defeat of the year. They've had a few days to think about it. They dropped 2 of their first 3 games of this road trip. They're only 11-10 on the road this year. They played 8 of their last 10 on the road, losing 6, with 3 of them by more than 10 points. Shumpert and Rose are getting closer to returning, but it won't be tonight, as I said. Let's see. I remember that one of the first things that our man Vitalis said right off the top of the show was that he likes the Raptors tonight and was hoping that I was
likes the Raptors.
Yeah. That was
Why does he like the Raptors?
Vitalis, and I believe he did give a reason at some point.
Yeah.
But he's on the form right now, so please let us know. Let's see. Kobe is on. Who's he saying here? Sorry. Raps after a loss, clamp down on defense. They're going to play strong defense. The under is a smart play, in my opinion. Yes, that's what I was
thinking as well. Why does he like the Raps? So, see, I'm thinking the loss of Lowry is a big deal. Ibaka's out, right? And the Cavs, a bad team. But again, I think they can. Does LeBron care about coming off a terrible game now or not?
I do think he does care. Aaron Escobar says Cavs off since Monday. Maybe they got some practice time in with IT. I think that they're not happy with that result, and I liken LBJ to like a Sid Crosby, where he holds players accountable, maybe too much at times, which bothers some people, like a Kyrie Irving. I think that they have to step up, and I expect them to step up. Alonzo Shiver says I think this is a bounce back game for the Cavs. Andrew says Cavs first half. Antoine Seymour says Cavs and game under. Justin Searcy says I like Cavs.
That's what I was thinking. All right, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the Cavs first half -1, -110. That's the line right now at Bookmaker. First half -1, -110. And I do like the under, and I'm going to take the under here, which is no 220, so I'm going to have to take 219.5 -101. That's the line right now at Pinnacle. It does appear to be headed up a little bit. It was 218.5 earlier. Now it's 219.5 -101. So I will take that one. We'll see where this line moves. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the Cavs first half. Jimmy the Bag, the thing that's so frustrating is that my sort of like contrarian, sneaky, under the radar plays have been doing great. How much did I nail that Milwaukee under yesterday, right? And I also wanted to take the first half under, but I didn't have the balls to double up on it. And so this feels kind of like that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take the under, and I feel like I might want to double up on the first half under. What do you think about that, Jim? Any thoughts?
I like it. Andrew says Cavs will lock down on defense today. Dan Kelly says Cavs fourth game of the road trip, but they stopped at home on the way to Toronto. Udon Porn Ratanafakti says under is the play, Pete. Searcy is wondering what the Cavs team total is.
Oh, shit. The Cavs team total. I do have it right here. The Cavs team total, 112.5 juice to the under at Pinnacle right now. 112.5, the under -131, over +112. So other books would probably have 111.5 or 112 at -110 on both sides.
I'm leaning towards the Cavs.
Now, what about the Raps team total under?
Oh, Kobe has inside information on what's going on in Toronto. Drake just opened another restaurant in Vancouver. He has Frings.
Yes.
And I've been to Frings. Very expensive, but live band, pretty cool place. He just opened a restaurant called the Pick 6.
Oh, shit.
And apparently D. Wade and LeBron were at his opening.
Okay.
Maybe they're hungover for today's game. They're too old for that. They're too old for that. Vitalis says Steam is all Raptors. Cavs will. Greg Schneider says Cavs will play defense, but you never know when the Cavs will put up a 40-plus quarter. Andrew says Raptors are missing offense with Ibaka and Lowry. Cavs will lock down on defense. Under is the play. Shiver says I like Cavs under. All this talk, and I am going to go on the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, and I'm going to leave the. I'm going to leave the under and over. I'm going to watch the line change, but I do think that the Cavs are the play, and I'm just going to take them full game.
Lot to think about here. Interesting game. All right, Jim's going to take the full game on the Cavs, and that is -3, -110. That is the best line. It's a split line, 3 or 3.5. -3, -110. I'm on the first half -1, -110, and I took the full game under 219.5, -101, and I was thinking about throwing on the first half under as well, which would be 111.5, -104 at Bet Online. 111.5, my Bet Online. What do you think, Jim? Now, normally Cleveland is a much higher scoring team in the first half, right? But If it's a game where they're looking to clamp down on defense, and we know that Toronto's having some issues offensively, maybe the first half under is a good play as well.
I am not convinced that they're capable of clamping down on defense.
They're not even capable, really.
I'm just not certain that they can do it. Because of that, I can't make that move. And I get why you guys would be on it. But
all right, I'm going to double down. I'm going to double up on it. First half under 111.5 minus 104. 111.5 minus 104, and that is the current line at Bet Online, sportsbetting.ag. All right. I'm taking some risks here. I'm stepping out, but I got to make up some units one way or another. And like if I start winning, then all of a sudden I'm feeling a lot better. If I start losing, I mean, who cares? There's 15 units, 25 units, 40 units down. It's all the same shit,
I like
right?
this. Dan Kelly says, Jimmy the Bag, I hate to say this because I love you, but I was going to take the Cavs first half, but you are a cooler on my Cavs bets. And I have been, but I hit my last Cavs bet. I had the Wolves to take care of business. But I hear you. I've had them wrong all year. But I hit my last one, Dan. That's right. Nice. I hit my last one.
Man, this is a tough game. All these friggin' NBA lines are so tough. I should have known. I should have been with you on Minnesota yesterday. That was a great call. I knew that was a great call. I had them on the second half when that line came out. All right, I'm taking Cleveland first half minus 110, the under 219.5, the first half under 111.5 minus 104, and Jim is just taking the full game under on that one. Full game spread. Cleveland minus 3, minus 110. All right, let's move on. There is an afternoon game, Boston, Philly. This is a game that's being played in London. I'm not exactly sure what to make of this spread. This game kind of has second half written all over it for me. The total appears to be headed up, which is kind of interesting. You have anything to say about this one, Jim? I think it's going to be a pass for me.
Well, these are always tricky games, but yeah, I'm feeling the under. The average amount of points per NBA game in London is 208.6, which is pretty much where the line is. Celtics have won 6 straight. Sixers have won 4 straight and 5 of 6. Celtics held Embiid to just 11 points on 4 of 16 shooting in their first meeting this year. He was held out of their second meeting. Both meetings were Celtic victories, one by 10, one by 11. Horford sat out Saturday's game in Brooklyn with knee soreness, but is good to go tonight. He was whining about they wouldn't let the team wouldn't let the players sleep on the plane.
Let the players sleep on the plane? How do they stop them from sleeping?
Well, they were telling him, do not sleep on the plane, and that bothered Horford. He's like, all I wanted was an hour and a half of rest on the plane, but they're trying to get their bodies prepared for the time change and all that shit. Were they even allowed to use? I mean, what you can do is you have those like eye patches that look like open eyes, but your eyes are closed behind it. You know, that would have been thinking ahead. Ahead.
There's ways around that.
But Horford was upset
especially if you got some money.
Horford was upset about it. I like this game to go under. Steven Ala says Celtics and under. Sean Thompson says under. Alonzo Shiver says, oh, wow. So Kobe says LeBron hosted the party at Drake's Pick 6. Okay. And they definitely got hammered. Champagne Poppy doesn't let people leave sober. Champagne Poppy being Drizzy. That's interesting.
So would that mean that? So maybe that would mean that they won't be able to clamp down on defense. Not a lot of defensive intensity. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I'm still sticking with my plays here. All right. That's certainly good information.
Searcy says, all I have seen is Philly players out in the streets of London. I'm taking the team that has dominated the matchup. Sean Thompson says Horford is out. I believe that would be news to me. I know he missed Saturday's game, but he was acting as if he was going to play. Mutt Beast likes the Sixers. Seriously says Horford is playing. I believe he is. Al Jamie says Sixers win and the under. I think it's just going to be uncomfortable for players. And I think there's going to be fucking boy band clowns. There's going to be stars of this in the audience. I don't know if that is that big of a deal. I'm not sure what to make of this game. It's
a pass for me. I'm passing on it.
I'm going to take the under.
Really? Yeah. Okay. We can give you a 211 minus 107. Jim's going to take the Philly game under 211 minus 107. That's the line right now at Pinnacle.
Cloud Kick says there's a lot of sharp money going on the over.
I mean, the line is headed up. It opened at about 208. It's now up to 211, 210.5, 211. So, take that for what it's worth. You want to take the under here, Jim?
I do.
All right, 211 minus 107. Okay, and then the Clippers-Sacramento game is interesting. Obviously, the Clippers blew out Golden State last night. They're on a back-to-back. Sacramento trying to get things together with De'Aaron Fox. It's not quite working. Sacramento also has been a bad bet over their last 9 games or so. Do you know what Sacramento's ATS record is over their last 9 games, Jim? Let's see. You get a Charger if you nail this one. For the Charger, Jimmy the Bag, ATS record last 9 games. What's your guess?
3-6.
Wrong. 2-7. 2-7. 2-7, not doing well, the Sacramento Kings, but I'm thinking maybe this will be a shot where they're a sneaky good play. What do you think? What's your take on the Clippers? I mean, a big win against Golden State, right?
I am definitely on the Clippers having a letdown in a letdown spot. Definitely. Come on. That game last night was absolutely ridiculous. A giant win. This has letdown spot written all over it. They've been managing to pull off wins without Griffin, Gallinari, Rivers, and Teodosic. Beverly for the last night. CJ Williams had come out of nowhere to post double-digit points in 3 straight games. Left the arena on crutches. Lou Williams put up 50, a career high 50. Lou Williams, who has 2 girlfriends, always had these games. Come on. He can't keep this up. Over his last 6, he's averaging 34.3 points, 6.3 assists, while hitting 49.2% from the field, 47.3% from 3. It'd be hard to believe that he didn't go out last night. The Kings have won 2 of their last 7. Dave Yeager said before the 99-86 loss to the Lakers on Tuesday that he wanted to see the team play with a faster pace. They responded with 16 turnovers and shot 34.5% from the field. They're last in scoring at 97.4. Willie Cauley-Stein is averaging 15.6 points, 7.8 boards in his last 10. De'Aaron Fox averaging 15.3 points, 6 assists in 4 games since returning from injury. Frank Mason still dealing with a heel injury. It's unclear if George Hill will be back, as his wife is about to give birth. I got to take the Kings here. This is just a situation. Where I don't. The Clippers had the night of their lives last night, and now they have to board a plane and go to Sacramento. And I'm taking the Kings.
Okay. All right. On what do you want here? The money line or the spread?
Well, it's the Kings are favored.
Right now. No, the Kings are a dog. They're right now. The line is 1.5.
Yeah,
plus 1.5.
I'll take the money line.
Well, the money line is not that great. It's just plus 105 at the Greek would be the best line.
Okay, I'll take the 1.5.
Okay. All right. So let's see. The Sacramento Kings best line would be plus 1.5 minus 109. So Jim's going to take Sacramento plus 1.5 minus 109. Seems like it should be a good play, right?
It just makes sense to me.
I mean, how bad is Sacramento?
Well, that's a tricky question because, I mean, we've seen them beat Golden State. They should have beat the Spurs last game. There was some late turnovers by De'Aaron Fox that really hurt them. I think that I just think this is a spot where a team can't possibly continue what they did last night.
All right, I'm going to double up on this one. I'm going to take them 2 ways. I'm going to take Sacramento first half plus a half minus 115, and I'm going to take the Sacramento spread on the full game plus 1.5 minus 109. So I'm doubling up first half plus a half minus 115 and plus 1.5 minus 109. All right, that's it. We've covered all 4 games. Jimmy the Bag, I'm going to review these picks, and why don't you review the comments, see if there's anything that any illuminating comments on any of the picks that we've given. See if any of these guys agree with what we're doing, disagree with what we're doing. Jimmy the Bag is on Cleveland -3, the Philly game under 211, and Sacramento plus 1.5 minus 109. I'm on Cleveland first half -1, the Cleveland game first half under 111.5, and the full game under 219.5. And I'm on Sacramento first half plus a half and the full game plus 1.5. Any comments coming in? Giving us some insights into.
Justin Sears is saying that Sacramento is terrible.
Is that true, Jim? They are terrible.
They are terrible.
That's good. Yeah, Juanma, if you see any comments, by all means. If you see any comments that are okay.
I will.
Look, Juanma, wow, what a fucking great producer. Juanma. He's trust me, guys, he's as cool as he sounds in real life.
Oh, that's nice. Dan Kelly says, watch that fucker Lou Williams have back-to-back 50-point games. And then there's just a lot of talk whether Drake is a pussy or not, and whether LeBron James was drunk or not last night. Oh, Mr. Cloud Kicks likes the Clippers game over.
Okay.
Nate Dogg has predicted a score. He says Sacramento 110-108 victory.
Yeah, I mean, Sacramento's terrible, but I feel like they are trying to get better. They're not a team that's thrown in the towel, right? They're trying to figure things out. Is that incorrect?
Sorry,
that Sacramento. They're not a bad team that's like thrown in the towel. They're trying to figure things out.
You're right, and because Jaeger knows that Divac will fire him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have he doesn't. Nobody believes in this guy as a coach, so he can't get the number one over. If they go last in the league, he'll be fired.
Yeah.
Divac is just like that, you know. Andrew has come in and said Kings are terrible. So we've got that's being backed up now.
Am I on the wrong side here, taking the Kings doubling up? Because I thought it was a pretty, sort of standard, obvious play, but not too obvious that would make me think there's something I'm not seeing here.
No, Benjamin Creasy says Clippers are not in the spot to underestimate any team. I think that is another point that goes with what you were saying, that they haven't thrown in the towel, and they're not going to underestimate this Clippers team, and they're going to do everything they can to win this game tonight.
I think he's saying that the Clippers won't underestimate any team. So he's saying that the Clippers will come in and not be.
You're right. He is saying that Clippers are not in the spot to underestimate any team. And sorry, I was thinking. No, I was saying, well, the Kings are not going to underestimate these guys. They need victories.
Yeah.
Kobe back Sacramento. Ibrahim from Norway says Clippers money line. Bud Nino 87 says don't take the Kings. Every starter on the Clippers is young enough to win a back-to-back. These are guys who've barely been in the NBA. I don't know if that. Mutt B says Kings will cover this game.
Highly controversial game here. All right, I might be able to. I can take this back in the 6 o'clock show, and I might do so. I'm going to stick with my two plays for now. First half plus a half, and the full game plus 1.5 minus 109. Did you see on my take backs of the my take back of the Washington game? I almost did middle that one last night on the total, but I didn't. Again, snake bit. All right, so that's about it for NBA. Jim, you have any other final comments you want to highlight here, or any other comments you want to?
Seriously, has a really nice point. Late in the conversation. The only thing I do like is that Zach Randolph dominates against the Clippers. Yeah, Benjamin Creasy said this is perhaps a spot to sell Clippers high. Mr. Cloudkick says sharp money is leaning on the Kings, though. Benjamin Creasy says Clippers seem like too easy a pick. They don't seem like an easy pick to me at all. The first thing I thought when I woke up this morning was, man, I'm going to take the Kings tonight.
Yes. All right, so that's it. We covered all four games. And once again, Jim's on Cleveland -3, the Philly game under 211, and the Sacramento Kings plus 1.5 minus 109. I'm on Cleveland -1, and I'm on the first half -1. I'm on the Toronto game, Cleveland-Toronto game, first half under 111.5, and the full game under 219.5, and the Sacramento game, first half plus a half, and the full game minus 109. All right, let's move on to NHL, and we can throw the NHL record up there. This is looking quite a bit better. I am up 14 units in the NHL. Not bad, one way or another. Still maintaining my positivity. And Jim, you had that was a bad couple calls yesterday. You're still up 2.5 units in NHL.
Yeah.
But I felt like maybe you forced those picks because they were just, I feel that way too. When we're in this show, I want to give a pick on every game, and you know what I mean?
The guys were absolutely right about the Senators playing well in divisional matchups. And the 8-2 game was just so easy. I thought the flu was going, but the guys on the forum were absolutely right. That was a mistake. Also, the Blackhawks, after scoring 8 goals so easily, it was. I'm very disappointed with my NHL capping yesterday. All
right, so today we have some interesting games here. Obviously, Columbus against Buffalo. Buffalo is just, man, they can't win anywhere against anyone. Right? This is a bad team, dude.
And they had a big issue in practice. Bogosian had to be helped off the ice with a lower body injury after getting tangled up with Kane. And then Kane had a shouting match in an almost fight with, I forget who. They're a mess. I have a plan for tonight's NHL card. I do. I have a plan, and I thought about it quite a bit. I was very angry with how I handled things, and I think I've got a nice play on all 3 games.
Okay. Well, tell us what you think about this one, because I see this one 5 straight unders for Columbus. Columbus is a team that I like to fade them at times. You can say what you want about Tortorella. He's kind of a team that he's a coach that I feel like long term is kind of detrimental to a team, and especially from a betting perspective. But then again, Buffalo, again, like I said, just friggin' awful. 5 straight unders for Columbus. What do you like here, Jim?
I am making a contrarian play. I like the over.
Okay.
Sabres coming off another bad loss. This time it was 7-4 to the Winnipeg Jets. Losing Bogosian is a big deal because they don't have much depth on defense. Also, Alex Wenberg made an early return from his back injury. He's having an injury-plagued season, but the 2013 first-rounder is coming off an impressive 59-point season last year. They need him desperately to score. The Jackets have won 3 of their last 4 after winning each of their last 2 games via shootouts. I think there's going to be more goals I like this 5.5 line, and I like them. I like overs today in the NHL, and I'm starting with this one.
Okay, plus 113 is the best line at Pinnacle. Over 5.5 plus 113. Again, Columbus 5 over, 5 unders in a row, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get their overs at some point. This might be a good spot for that. Yeah, not a bad call there, Jim. I vaguely agree with that, and yeah.
Mr. Cloud Kicks. Thanks, Loshak. My hockey handicapping is a lot better with your insights.
Oh, what's that guy's name?
Mr. Cloud Kicks.
Mr. Bal Kicks.
Mr. Cloud Kicks.
Cloud Kicks.
Mr. Cloud Kicks. Oh, Mr. Cloud Kicks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Cloud Kicks. And thank you, Wanma, for highlighting that comment. Wanma, any comment you see, by all means chime in, whether it's, you know what we're looking for, right? I'm looking for comments that tell me how much they like the show, or, of course, more importantly, is handicapping comments that are insightful. You know what I'm saying?
I will.
You guys are like the sitcom Perfect Strangers. That's what you two are like, man.
I'm Balky or he's Balky?
He's Balky.
Oh, he's Balky. Okay,
But
all right.
you could pull up Balky.
I'm the other guy. All right, okay. All right, okay. I guess let's move on. Yeah, I was thinking I was leaning over as well. Maybe a shot with an over here. With Buffalo. I don't disagree with that, Jim. I'm mulling that over in my head. All right, now let's move on. Carolina, Washington. Washington rolling. Carolina lost 4 out of 5 though. But the one game that they did win was the game that I picked against them. Naturally, of course. So Carolina has won just one game out of the last 5, and that was the game that I bet on them to lose. Once again, there were comments coming in over the past bunch of shows that Carolina is just dangerous as a big underdog. Here, I'm not sure, though. Washington is just legit rolling. They played recently in early January. It was a high-scoring game. I'm thinking maybe another over here. Maybe we just ignore that Carolina is a big dog here and has some life to them and just bet on Washington and continue rolling. What do you think, Jim?
I am on the over on this game. I think it's the play. I think the Hurricanes are an undervalued team moving forward, and I can't trust a puck line. Because of that, I'm not just going to take the Caps on the money line. It just doesn't make sense on the long run. So the Capitals won 5 straight overall, 10 straight at home. They're 17-2 at home since November 2nd and are 14-2-2 in their last 18 overall. Grubauer allowed 1 goal on 37 shots versus the Canucks on Tuesday. He's turned into one of the best backups in the league. 3-5-3, 2.56 goals against average, 916 saves percentage. And I think that he is playing better than Braden Holtby, who will be getting the start tonight. Now, he is 24-8-0, but he's at 2.68 goals against average, 917 save percentage, and his numbers have improved slightly. He has much better numbers at home than he does on the road. Defenseman John Carlson is having an excellent season. He has 2 goals, 5 assists in his last 5 games. He's second in the NHL in scoring for defensemen with 34 points. Hurricanes are 1-3-1 in their last 5. That 5-4 loss at Tampa looked good to me. That's a very, very good game they played, and they were. They didn't. You got to keep Tampa Bay off the power play, and they didn't. They didn't allow them one power play opportunity, and they're gonna have to do the same thing against Washington. Cam Ward is looking like the goalie we remember him being. That's why I like the over here a lot. In January, he's 1-2-1 with a 3.89 goals against average and 855 save percentage. That will continue. I do not trust Cam Ward as a goalie, and right now, I just think that this is a really good spot to take the over, and I'm on it.
Okay, over 5.5, minus 105 is the best line right now, and that is at Pinnacle. I'm thinking about, maybe it's a stupid play. I'm thinking about just taking Washington -1 here. What's your take on Carolina?
Oh, they're saying that it's not Ward. They're going back to Darling.
Okay.
Darling's got a save percentage.
Yeah.
I don't have his numbers in front, but I believe it's 897. He's having a bad year.
And Washington, Carolina, are they a team with some life to them? You don't like to fade them. So someone was saying that they're always a good bet as a big underdog. Is that true?
I do think it's true.
Even against Washington?
Well, we're talking about a team that's 17-2 at home since November 2nd.
Right.
So, no, this is not the right spot to do that. But you know what? If you did that every single time, you'd make money in the end.
No, I'm talking about taking Washington here.
Oh, yeah. I
wouldn't do that.
On your -1 line, I see that being a play.
And the line is headed down a little bit for some reason. Carolina's taking money, which is understandable. All right, I'll throw that one on there. I'll throw on Washington -1. The money line part of this one will be -141. That is the line at Pinnacle right now. And the puck line part of that will be plus 207. That is also line at Pinnacle. So that's a modest underdog line there for Washington -1. I will take that one. And the third game is Calgary at Tampa Bay. Calgary, of course, has won 4 in a row. Very nice. Very nice. Turning a little bit of a corner, but Tampa Bay just absolutely awesome. Although they've had some losses recently. Tampa Bay, though, a huge favorite here. What do you think, Jim?
I'm doing it on every game on this card confidently.
Okay.
I'm taking the over here this evening. Lightning haven't had a power play in 2 games, and yet they're still scoring goals. They're sending 4 guys to the All-Star game. They've won their, as I said, last 2 games without power play opportunity. After not scoring a goal in November, Tyler Johnson scored 8 in December. Now it's 4 in the first 5 games of January. They have so much depth. My God. They have 10 players with at least 24 points. Flames have won 4 straight games. They are a top-heavy team with below-average team stats. They are winning the close games, and that's a sign of a good hockey team. Yes, a sign of a good hockey team, but also a sign that I don't know if it will continue. They're 20th in goals for, 15th in goals allowed, 22nd in power play, 23rd in penalty killing. Last year, they did the same sort of thing, and they turned it on like crazy after the All-Star break. They were easily one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Are they capable of doing that without any secondary scoring? I don't know. I really can't say that they are. But I think the Lightning will continue to score a lot of goals, and I love these 5.5 overs.
Okay, best line there will be 5.5 minus 107 again at Pinnacle. I'm going to pass on this game. So actually, let's wrap up NHL right now, because actually I did do my research in college basketball, and I was thinking if I could maintain this schedule, this might be cool, because what I can do is I can look at the games and I can tell you what my leans are, and I can actually request you to look into some games. How about that, Jim?
Well,
that would be awesome, right?
I have 5 plays ready to go for college.
All right, so we're going to go to college basketball second. Let's just review the plays. I took Washington -1. Modest underdog line there. Washington -1. That's it for me in NHL. And Jim took all 3 overs. Buffalo over +113. Washington over -105. And Tampa over -107. Hopefully you cash at least 2 of those, Jim. Maybe
Just
3.
before we go forward, love it because Jim Rummy has his model.
Yes.
He says, yeah, that's my only NHL model play today. Was the Caps Canes over, not all of my picks, but
the over.
Yeah, the over.
Okay, great. Very, very good. Very, very good. Thank you. So, wow, we got a guy with a fucking model coming in here and telling us what his model says.
I love him.
Oh, man.
I love all you guys, man. This is great.
Gin Rummy? That's the guy. Yes, Gin Rummy. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love people with models.
Oh, but now he says I like Caps. Maybe Gin Rummy, am I confusing it? Sorry, because I went back a bit. I like Caps.
Okay.
So maybe the Caps...
Now I love you even more, Gin Rummy.
Play today.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I had to take that back. Sorry, I misread that. Yeah, I misread that. Man, I love the overs in all 3 games. I think I'm in a really nice spot. Also, I'm getting these 5.5 overs. That's not a -115 or a -120. Get on them now, because I think they're going to go up.
Okay, that does it for NHL. Let's move on to college basketball again. Normally we skip college basketball in the morning, but I've done some research. I have some leans. I don't know if I'm going to give any picks. Jim has already looked at this card, and I will request. Can I do that, Jim? Some of these minor games, because like a 50, there's no way you can look at every game. But if there's specific games that I want to know about, I'm not talking about in-depth research. I'm talking about doing your like usual 8 or 10 minute, sort of just once over to tell me what you think of the game, and if anyone's out, you know what I mean? If anyone's hurt. All right, so let's throw up the college basketball record. Of course, my high watermark a long time ago was in the 30s, and that is way down now, but it's still respectable overall. 17.5 units overall on the year. I am up, and Jimmy the Bag is up a half unit in college basketball. Yesterday was a very up and down day for me. I had a ton of winners on the second halves, but my full game plays were very, very, very iffy, and I got lucky on a few of them. Of course, we all lost with the Rutgers-Michigan State first half, which was a terrible, not a terrible call, it was just a loser. And, Wake Forest, crazy game. I like that one. They lost. But let's get to today's games. A ton of games. I guess let's start with the research you've done, Jim, and then I'll go down the games and identify my leans and tell you what games I want you to look at. What games are you liking, Jim?
Well, let's go with maybe the ones that are more controversial here tonight. I really think, and I was studying Wichita's pace, and I was studying how they score, when they score. I like Eastern Carolina a lot. And I can't say that I like the full game so much more than the first half. I've decided to double up on East Carolina today. The Shockers just got a lot better getting last year's leading scorer and rebounder, 6'8" junior Marcus McDuffie, back after being out all season with a stress fracture in his foot. He's playing more and more. He's going to continue to come off the bench. He had some desperately needed size to Shaquille Morris and Jarrell Willis Jr. Shockers have won 5 straight. All 4 games with McDuffie have been by double digits. The Shockers on the longest road winning streak in the nation at 9 games. It looks like, and now let's go to Eastern Carolina. It looked like things might fall apart for Eastern Carolina when head coach Jeff Lebo abruptly stepped down after a 2-4 start. But assistant Michael Perry came in, he righted the ship, and these guys believe in him. They're coming off a very tight 70-65 loss at UConn. We know how tough that is to play there. And they have this three-headed monster at guard that I really like. BJ Tyson, Isaac Fleming, Kentrell Barkley, all average over 12 points a game. They have a 6'10", 235-pound senior from Toronto, Jabari Craig, that can bang on the boards. The Pirates are a bad offensive team, but they have size and they can defend. And the reason why I kind of like this play is this because Wichita State doesn't care about this game.
Yeah.
And East Carolina cares so much about this game. This is so important to them. I'm doubling up on this spot, and I don't see people hammering against me, which is
I was
great.
agreeing with you on that one. I agree with this pick, and I'm going to take it as well. We're going to take the full game spread, plus 24, minus 110. That's the line at the Greek. And the first half is plus 14, minus 108. Jim's going to go on it two ways. I'm just going to take it one way on the full game. But I agree with you, Jim. We're going to have to split up our time here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll give you until about 6 more minutes, and then
Perfect.
that means I'll have 6 more minutes. All right. What else do you want to give us, Jim?
Okay. Let's move fast. Okay, so I'm going to take Oregon State to cover this evening. It's a huge spread. The Beavers have won just once in Tucson since 1983. Wildcats are coming off a loss at Colorado on Saturday. Oregon State has won 2 of 3 since instituting a zone defense. 6'8" sophomore Trey Trinkle, who averages 18.2 points, 6.8 boards, and 6'10", 250-pounder junior Drew Eubanks are coming together very well. Now, I hope that Rakojevic, who is questionable, he didn't play, he was questionable. He almost went last game against Oregon. He's questionable. He'd be very useful against the Twin Towers the Wildcats have of Aiton and Ristich. The Beavers lead the Pac-12 in scoring defense. They're second in steals, third in field goal percentage defense at 41.5. The Wildcats' offense has looked very good since adding a third scoring option in Raul Alkins to play with Aiton and Trier. But man, I just think this is too big of a spread. Oregon State is coming in playing the best ball they played all year long. They've switched up their defensive play. I believe in this spot, and I'm going to take Oregon State to cover this Giants.
All right, interesting. We'll see where this line moves. I was leaning Arizona, but that was just a lukewarm lean. Not sure what to think of it. It seems like a big bounce-back spot for Arizona. It seems like they have the big talent edge, but you might be right here. Plus 15, minus 109 is the line right now at Pinnacle. What else do you want to add, Jim?
Okay, I am taking North Carolina State. I wish that it wasn't after this Duke game. I'm also very much leaning towards the under in this game, but I'm just going to give NC State right now. Clemson defeated NC State 78-62 in the conference opener. In that game, Clemson defended the perimeter very well. NC State shot 34.8% from the field, 22.7% from three. Wolfpack guards had very bad days. Freeman and Dorn went a combined 6 for 27 from the field and 2 for 13 from three. The big deal in that game was Abdul Malik Abu was in foul trouble from the onset. He only played 15 minutes. With Abu off the floor, Dante Grantham and Elijah Thomas completely dominated the game. They combined for 19 rebounds and 8 blocks. Freeman, from the guard spot, can't get on track this year. His last 2 seasons with Baylor, he shot 39% from three. This year, he's shooting 29%. His field goal last year was 43%. This year, 35%. I think that he will get his shit together in the second half of the season. The Wolfpack have to defend. They're last in the ACC, allowing the opposition to shoot 43.9% from the field. Yes, Clemson's on a 10-game winning streak. I like Clemson a lot. Their defense is second in the nation, allowing 63.5 points per game. Second best in ACC in rebounding. Opponents misses. Only 2 opponents have exceeded 70 points. But I like this spot, and I like the under here, and I'm wondering if you have any lean, if I should follow through with that.
It's a very interesting game. I agree with you that I agree basically with everything you said. I hate that it's coming after the big Duke win. It's strange that they're this big of a home underdog, and so it's not a game that I have a strong lean on, but it's definitely a game that I'm thinking about in various ways. And basically agree with what you said. So you want to take NC State plus 4?
I do, and I'm going to take the under.
Okay, plus 4 minus 110 is the line at a bunch of places, and the total on this game is now up from 146.5 up to 148.5 up at Pinnacle. So we can give you the under 148.5 minus 110 on Clemson NC State. 148.5 minus 110. That's the current line at Pinnacle. All right, what else do you want to discuss, Jim?
Okay, left on spot there. Okay, I am making You know, I'm only going to make one play on this, but I'm leaning over on this game. I am taking Arizona State to have a big bounce-back game, and I'm surprised that the line is where it's at. Arizona State's coming off a tough 3-game road trip that saw losses to Arizona and Colorado that Pete called before winning at Utah by 3. It will be very nice to be back home. Sun Devils had a difficult time shooting against zone defenses on their road trip. They shot 37.9% and 35.2% in their 2 losses. They hit just 25 of 83 3-point attempts on the road trip. In their 2 losses, Shannon Evans missed all 14 of his 3-point attempts. That's not going to happen tonight. Oregon is out-rebounding opponents by an average of 6 a game, but Romello White, DeCon Lake, and Mickey Mitchell can bang with Oregon bigs Troy Brown, Paul White, and Kenny Wooten. Kenny Wooten leads the Pac-12 in blocks. He's definitely playing good basketball. Duck sharpshooters, Pritchard and Brown can't go shot for shot with Evans and Holder. I really like this line. I think it will get bet up. I'm happy I'm getting it early. I also like the over here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger on it.
Okay, I would vaguely agree with you. Yes, I was leaning Arizona State here as well. -7, -110 across the board, market wide. And that's it for you, Jimmy the Bag?
Yes, I am. Although I am leaning over, and just before I let you go on, what is the over at right now? Is it changed?
Arizona State, Oregon will be 159, 160, 159 would be the best line right now.
I'm going to take the over in this game.
Okay. Arizona State over 159 -110. 159 -110. That's the current line at Pinnacle on Oregon, Arizona State. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Is that it for you?
That's it for me. Thank you for the time.
Sure. All right, so once again, Jimmy the Bag has taken East Carolina first half +14, +24 on the full game. Oregon State +15, NC State +4, and the under 148.5 in that one. Arizona State -7 and the over 159 on that one. I've agreed with them on East Carolina +24. All right, so when I go down the games that I'm thinking about, do you want me to tell you the ways that I'm leaning, or would you rather have a clear mind?
I'd rather not hear where you're
leaning. So I'll go down the games, and if there's any game that I specifically want you to look into, Jim, I'll just tell you what game that is, and we'll get into it. Let me see. All right. Well, Tulsa-Houston is an interesting one. That one I don't need you to look into. So I mean, you can obviously if you want to, but so since I don't want you to do specific research on that, I'll just tell you how I was thinking. I was just thinking that I'll let you know the games. That's not one of them that I. But just Tulsa seems like they should be competitive here with Houston, even though Houston's great. The line is getting bet up in Houston's favor, but I was thinking Tulsa might be a play there. Scanning over the games. Okay, NC Wilmington, Elon. That's a game I would like you to look into a little bit. Okay,
Absolutely.
Jim? Type that down. Write that down.
Okay,
thank you very much. NC Wilmington, Elon. That's a game I would like you to look into. Okay, Jim?
Done.
NC Wilmington, Elon. Then also, let me see. Other games. Very interesting. William & Mary playing James Madison. William & Mary, of course, has been great. They've been a great team, game in and game out. This line has gotten bet down a little bit. It's now down to 8, but I'm thinking that William & Mary might be once again just a good bet here, maybe on the first half. So I'll look into that. Let's see. What else? Another game, Jim, look into. Hofstra-Towson. Okay, so Hofstra-Towson, NC Wilmington, Elon. Those are 2 games I would like you to look into, Jimmy the Bag. Let's see. Scanning down. The Marshall-Charlotte game is interesting just because Marshall has a big injury. Their big man is out, and Charlotte is terrible, and Marshall got blown out in their last game. So that's an interesting game that I'm thinking about. Marshall is a road favorite here. Is Charlotte good enough to get a home win? Not exactly sure. Moving on down the line. Let me just check. Moving on down the line. Here's another one, Jim. Okay, you ready? Drexel, Delaware. Delaware. That's a third one. I would like you to look into, Jimmy the Bag. Drexel, Delaware. All right. Then another game that's interesting is South Dakota IPFW. South Dakota, obviously a very quality team, but IPFW, of course, beat Indiana this year. They can get a good win. They can get good wins here and there. The line opened to pick them, and now money is coming in on South Dakota. Not exactly sure why that would be, but I'm going to look into that one. But IPFW is now a small home dog, which is kind of interesting. Let me just scan more games here. What was I thinking about? Let me scanning games here. All these games are pretty much interesting. UT Arlington has had some games where they've had duds, especially on the road. Now they're a huge road favorite at Arkansas Little Rock. UT Arlington at times can be a great team and a great bet, as we know. Big Man on Campus was touting them from day one in college basketball this year, but they have had some duds, and now they're a pretty big road favorite, 9.5, and headed up against Arkansas Little Rock. So that's certainly interesting. I'm scanning more games. All right. Thinking about Eastern Illinois as a small home favorite against Tennessee State, but that line is headed down. So that's kind of interesting that that line movement is headed down. The OVC is a pretty peculiar conference. Might be some fixed games going on there, here and there in the OVC, right? I mean, if you were a small forward at Eastern Illinois and someone offered you $500 to tank a game, I would do that. I would do that, OVC game, very interesting. So I was leaning Eastern Illinois, but it's interesting that line has gotten bet down from 2 to 1.5. All right, let's move on to some other games. We're going to request games that Jim maybe take a gander into. Okay, here's one: Texas State, Arkansas State. Look into that one if you don't mind, Jimmy the Bag. Is this too many games?
No, I love more.
Yeah, just like whatever. If you want to look into it for 15 minutes, if you want to look into it for 3 minutes, whatever you can. If you don't have time to get into it,
I'll handle them all. I promise.
All right, let's see. Yes, what else? Another OVC game is very interesting. Murray State against Jacksonville State, two OVC powerhouses. That line is around pick'em, but Murray State now taking money, so that might be telling there. Jacksonville State opened as a small home favorite, and now they're a small home underdog, so that's pretty interesting. Austin Peay, Jimmy the Bag, you have looked at them, right? They are a team that you liked at times. Yeah. They are now a small road underdog against Tennessee Tech. They could be possibly a team with value. Looking it around, scanning here. Let me see. Other games I was leaning. I have a feeling this is going to be a card I'm going to be giving a lot of totals. The East Carolina game, I agree with Jim, and I'm on that, plus 24. I was thinking about Arizona over Oregon State, but Jim's made a compelling argument off of that one. I agree with Jim on the Arizona State game at -7. Not sure what's up with that line movement. This is another game. You can look into it if you want to or not. Sacramento State at home against Montana. Obviously, Montana is awesome, the class of the Big Sky, but I'm thinking that Sacramento State as a home dog at 9 might be one of those live dogs. So you know which way I'm leaning here, Jim. But if you want to look into that, fine. It's not necessary. But I was thinking that Sacramento State might be, and actually, you know what? I'll give that one right now. I'll start out with, you can look into that one anyway, but I'm going to give that one Sacramento State plus 9 as a big enough home dog here against formidable Montana. Montana's great, Sacramento State is not, but I will give that one plus 9 minus 106. We'll see where that line moves, if it moves at all. Scanning down other games here. Let's see other games that are looking kind of interesting. The Fullerton UC Irvine game is very interesting. Fullerton obviously is great. They've had some nice road results this year, and they were a 4-point underdog. Actually, I think they opened it higher than that even, and now they're down to 3.5 as a road underdog at UC Irvine. San Francisco playing LMU. LMU is a crappy team. San Francisco has had some nice road covers as well.
They have,
and now San Francisco is a 3.5 or 4-point road favorite at Loyola Marymount. Is that a trap or is that a good play on San Francisco? I'm not exactly sure. I'm still feeling my way around that one, and I guess that's really about it.
So DJ Big Boss.
Yeah. What?
Loshak.
Yes.
DJ Big Boss. Loshak, dishing out homework. How about an assignment for the viewers?
Dishing out homework?
Uh-huh.
How about an assignment for the view? Oh, how about an assignment for the viewers?
Dishing out.
Oh, dishing out. Do you know what that means, Juanma?
Yeah.
Dishing out. That means giving it out. Assignment for the viewers.
He's asking for that?
That would be heaven. Would that? Are there viewers who would look into games?
Big Boss is asking.
Oh my God, DJ Big Boss Guy. I don't even know. I mean, one more game I want to add to this, Jim, and DJ Big Boss Guy. You can look into this. Florida Atlantic UTEP. I guess. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess any of the games that I'm leaning towards, if you want to look into. Again, the games that I've asked Jim to look into specifically are what are the games? Hofstra Towson, North NC Wilmington, Elon. Drexel, Delaware,
Texas State,
the Texas State Arkansas State game, and there was one other.
Austin Peay.
No, that wasn't. That was just one I was commenting on. Okay. Florida Atlantic UTEP. That was the 5th game that I wanted you to look into. Okay. I think I gave you 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then DJ Big Boss Guy, I guess games I'm scratching my head on that we should all be wondering about, I think, is peculiar line movement in the South Dakota IPFW game, right? Kind of two teams. IPFW could easily be a live dog here, but money has clearly come in on South Dakota, so I'm wondering if that indicates value on South Dakota, or if maybe it just puts a little bit more value on IPFW as a home dog. Florida International, that's a decent team. I took them as a big dog against Middle Tennessee State when they were at home, and of course that one covered. That was a big margin cover there. Now they're getting some decent points though against UTSA. I'm not sure UTSA is that great that they should be this big of a favorite there. So maybe look into Florida International, UTSA. USA. Let's see. You know what would be great is if we had because the chat box is so like confused and chaotic. If we could ask at a certain time that a viewer who does research on certain games comes in and gives their research, or have them call in.
That would be very cool.
Or have them call in. Man, that would all be awesome. All right,
that would
anyway.
be so cool.
Yeah. Also, I'm thinking about Appalachian State as a small home dog against Georgia State. If you want to look into that, DJ Boss Kai, that would be awesome. Let me see. What else thinking about? What else thinking about here? Yeah, I mean, all these games are any game you look into, you can possibly find nice value. Just the games I was thinking about. I was thinking maybe IPFW, again, as a home dog. Maybe Appalachian State as a home dog. These small home dogs I like to look into, because a lot of times when there's games with small home dog like that, either the small home dog has clear big value or the small road favorite has clear big value. You know what I mean? Those can be games where just like yesterday with UConn and UCF, right? You're looking at that, you're like, man, one of these sides has big value. Turned out it was UConn, and we had a viewer who tipped us off to that. You know, I find that games with small home dogs can be games with big value, one way or the other. It's not always take the home dog by any means. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It can a lot of times be like the small road favorite that's just going to come in and clearly get a win, and the couple points they're giving is not a big deal. Okay, so let's see some of these small home dog games that are kind of interesting. Yeah, the Marshall Charlotte one is tricky just because I know there's a big injury for Marshall, and so I don't really want to look into that one because I know what the deal is there. But yeah, IPFW as a small home dog, very intriguing. Appalachian State as a small home dog against Georgia State, very intriguing.
Yeah, there's a couple guys on Appalachian State right here. Maxwell Smart's on him. Dennis Schultz is on him.
Yes, Appalachian State. Yes, I feel like Oprah now. Yes, Appalachian State plus 2.5 might be a good bet here. Jimmy the Bag. Mm-hmm. You know how Oprah does that?
I do.
Yeah, she goes. That wasn't a bad cross-gender impression there. All right, let's see. What else is interesting? UAB and Southern Miss is interesting. UAB is obviously a formidable team. They should get a margin win over Southern Miss, but it's 12.5. Too many points to be giving. Not quite sure. I had a great read on St. Bonaventure yesterday. I knew that 15 was, I mean, they only covered by 1, but looking back on it, I feel like that was a good call, even though it was very, very close. And I didn't take the first half. You know, some people were saying first half. I was like, no, St. Bonaventure's going to pull away in the second half. So we might have a similar situation here with UAB against Southern Miss. Let's see. What else is interesting here? What else is interesting?
Joey Crawford. Pete, I have a dream where we were capping games last night in Costa Rican casino. I even dream about this show now.
Oh, thank you so much. Who is that? Joey Grafford.
Joey Crawford, yeah. Joey Crawford.
Joey Grafford.
Uh-huh.
Joey Grafford. Thank you so much. You dream about this show. Wow, you see media executives everywhere who are dreaming about this show. Motherfuckers are dreaming about this show. The Murray State-Jacksonville State game is a very interesting one. I'm just not sure if there's any way to look into this one. I feel like that's a game where the line movement is probably going to be telling. And if Murray State maintains their road favorite status, there's a game. Perfect example. That might be a game where Murray State is a good road favorite with a game involving a small home underdog. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Jacksonville State, obviously a quality team. So why is Murray State getting bet to a road favorite and being held there? Maybe it's because Murray State is the play there at -1. That's a very interesting game. Maybe look into that one, DJ Boss Guy, because I'm thinking that Murray State -1 might be the play there, and that line might get bet higher. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to take that right now. I'm going to throw that one on there just in case it gets bet higher. Murray State -1, -115. I'm going to make that one an official play. And let's see, what else do we have here?
Austin Guest. I only cap NHL and soccer, so you guys have taunt me a ton about capping NCAA and NBA. Appreciate your work, fellas.
Oh, thank you so much, Austin Guys, thank you so much. Austin Guys appreciates our work. Love to hear that, Austin Guys. All right, and then, of course, you know, the San Francisco LMU game is pretty interesting. Again, I'm not sure if there's anything to look into. It's just like a standard situation. You know why LMU you know why San Francisco is the road favorite here. Is San Francisco going to roll? See, this one feels like it might be a little bit trappy. Maybe that would be a good game to look into. Big Baby DJ Boss Guy. Is the LMU game a trap? Or is, because I'm thinking maybe this is a game where it maybe, you know, it's just too obvious to take San Francisco here. They're not a huge road favorite, and that would certainly be.
It was funny that you were saying that you liked San Francisco on the road because when I liked their team. We started liking their players early in the year, and I found them very untrustworthy on the road, but way better than I expected at home. Always playing so well at home. So I'm a little concerned, but I'm looking forward to jumping into this game.
No, I'm not saying. I mean, I'm saying that it might be trappy. Actually, I'm saying I don't know about that game. All right, so let's wrap this up. We have given a bunch of college basketball plays here. Jim's going to look into a bunch of games that I'm thinking about, and once again, the official plays that we have given in college basketball. Jim's on East Carolina first half plus 14 and full game plus 24. I agree with that one. He's on Arizona State -7 and the Arizona State game over 159. Oregon State plus 15, NC State plus 4, and the under 148.5 in that one. And I am also with him on East Carolina plus 24, Sacramento State plus 9, and Murray State -1, -115. And a lot of games I'm going to look into between now and 6 o'clock Eastern time. We will be back 6 o'clock Eastern time to flesh out the rest of this huge, massive college basketball card and to revisit some pro games that might have had some interesting line movements. Thanks so much for all the great comments and insightful analysis. We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time.